Yo, 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 what up, people? It's your boy, the Kryptonian, saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece Chapter 283, and gotta go with the cover story, man. I usually don't do the cover stories, every time they happen, but as you guys know, when there's one that just really grabs my attention, I have to kind of dive into it, so this dude, Ace, is a fucking fool, okay? And I gotta start it like that. Ace is a fucking fool, because Ace knocks out one of the Marines, and he's literally putting on the jacket like this in the cover story, man. He's looking around, and I'm like, this dude's really about to infiltrate a Navy base. Like, oh, what? What? And the reason why I'm making that face, right, is if you guys remember when Zoro took on all the Baroque works, right? I was super hyped for that whole thing, and this is one of those ones where it's like, I just want a chapter, Oda. Like, there's gotta be an anime episode for this. And I watched the One Piece anime, filler included, because I don't want to miss anything, okay? I am very behind on the anime, but when I do watch the episodes, I tweet out my reactions and everything, so make sure to follow me on Twitter, man. But the beautiful thing about that is if Oda decides to show us Ace just knocking some Navy dudes around, that's going to be so much fan service, and I'm going to love it, okay? Like, fan service isn't just showing the big old boobs and the ass and all that stuff. That ain't it. Shit like this is fan service. So I'm really hoping Oda just drops us a bone like that. So, getting into the chapter, gotta say, the ending where Usopp fires exploding star, and then a few pages before that, we see Luffy actually picking up that big heavy gold ball and saying that he's going to get back to where Nico Robin is. To see all of that, that was impressive, because Usopp actually ends up being the one who gets to Nami and ends up rescuing Nami, if you say so. I don't think so. I think he just kind of bought time for it. But also, you have Luffy displaying a strength feat literally one chapter after I said I wanted to see a strength feat. The only thing is I'm really wondering how the fuck he gets the gold ball off of him, right? Like, if I was reading something like Fairy Tail, Natsu just would have ate that shit, and bam, he's got a new power. So I'm really interested to see how Oda's going to incorporate this with Luffy, or if Oda's just going to have Luffy somehow get free of that. I'm assuming that whenever Zoro gets there, Zoro can just take the sword and kind of cut through it and free him. And that's probably what's going to happen. So that's something I'm keeping my eye on. I would personally love to see Luffy use that as a weapon, okay? Like, it's kind of like having a slingshot, just not even a slingshot. I think it's a mace that's got the handle, and then it's got like a little ball on the end with the spikes and stuff, and you just use it to clobber people with. I would like to see Luffy use something like that, man. just something a little more combat oriented. I know his moves like Gatling gun and bazooka and gum pistol, but I would like to see something like this too. And the thing about it is, I really feel like because Luffy's made out of rubber, and I said before, it's coming down to either its skill, which Enel has skill and experience, or just brute strength. I really feel like Luffy, if he's going to defeat Enel, he's just got to get him for one solid shot. And between his ability to kind of cock back because of the rubber, and then the speed that ball is going to be traveling at, I feel like that's how Luffy could defeat Enel. I'm going to be keeping my eye on it just to see if this is the approach that Eiichiro Oda decides to take. Now, one other thing that I liked about this chapter, but I didn't like at the same time, I liked the fact that, Nami ends up standing up to Enel, and what we end up seeing is Enel is like, look, you're putting your faith in those two rats who are climbing up. The thing about it, I don't have to wait for you to be rescued. Who said that I'm going to let them rescue? He fires off this lightning bolt. Nami ends up dodging it, and after she dodges it, she takes out those weather rods that Usopp made for her. And when she did that, I was like, oh man, I forgot all about that. Because I said before, when she got captured, Nami, if she ends up fighting, like, so there's not much she can do. I kind of just discounted the weather rods because it's an incomplete battle item. Usopp said himself he's still making tweaks to it, and I didn't feel like Nami would use that again. I know she used it in Alabasta, but I didn't feel like Nami would use that again against a serious opponent unless she absolutely knew that it was going to be working. I don't think Usopp's had enough time to work on it, so that's why I just kind of, brush it off. So the fact that Nami was able to use it to disrupt the weather patterns and create a new path for the lightning to travel to, once again it shows, my girl's got a very smart brain on her, man. She's always kind of thinking a couple steps ahead. She really reminds me of Kisuke Urahara. I'm going to branch off a little bit here. The reason why I said she reminds me of Kisuke Urahara, if you go back to Urahara and Aizen's second fight, okay, like not when, well, I guess you say it's the first fight, but it's when Ishin and Yoruichi, they show up, they help Kisuke. Kisuke's firing all these Kidos and nothing happens. He gets one shot at off panel, and then Kisuke actually was firing all those Kidos in order to disguise the fact he was firing those ceiling handcuffs into Aizen, and he was just waiting for him to get wore down in order for the seals to take effect, and just shows that he's kind of thinking a few steps ahead. And I feel like that's what Achiro Oda was having Nami do, where basically she's thinking ahead, and she's observed Enel's powers, and she thought that she figured out a way to at least hold her own for a while. But what ends up happening, Enel says, I can just overpower that if I just come with more force. I negate anything that you're doing. And that's when Usopp shows up, fires the exploding star. And I thought that it was pretty damn comical to have Usopp be the one who shows up to save her. And the reason why is, Sanji's like, hey, I don't care if he's a god. If he lays a hand on Nami, I'm going to become the demon of the Blue Sea. And then in this chapter, we see Nami's actually fighting. So, or rather, Enel is toying around with her. And I don't like saying that, but it is what it is. She, put up a valiant effort. But, her point in this battle, I think it's over unless her and Usopp kind of team up. I'm hoping that happens. Because, again, I just want to see a big-ass team up against one big villain. But, I'd settle for a 2v1. Or 3v1. Because you know that Sanji's going to show up at some point. But this is where it gets, for me, the chapter's kind of interesting, okay? Because Sanji has super perversion skills, okay? And I know you're like, what are super perversion skills? This dude, Sanji, is able to see Nami on that ship, know it's her, and I'm guessing, the orange hair definitely, helps with that. But the other thing, he's like, she wasn't wearing a shirt, like, I like seeing that. That was kind of funny. And the thing is it wasn't, I say the thing is a lot, by the way, I just noticed that, but, the thing is, I'm going to say it, the thing is 3 times in a row, but what I liked about that is we see that Sanji has this connection towards Nami, Super Captain Save-A-Ho, but the other thing is he's looking at it, and he's able to pick out Nami from that far away, which means that his observation skills, if they didn't have Nami, I really feel like Sanji could chart a course. Might not understand maps as well, but even if they're just going to kind of float around, he's got very sharp eyes. And I really feel like that's something that Oda could continue to develop. I could see Sanji being that character who pays extreme attention to detail. And so that's going to be interesting. That's something that when it comes to battle, Sanji could pull his weight in a different way. But overall, pretty good chapter. There's different parts moving around. We still got Sanji somewhere out there. We got the Shandians, basically saying like, look, we have to trust in the warriors, which means that Wiper's not done. I don't feel like Wiper's done. Just the fact that, the chief was like, Wiper, this will have to suffice. The fact that Oda had a mention, and we know that Nico Robin is, transporting everyone, really makes me feel like Wiper might have one more stand in him. I'm not sure, but I feel like if he doesn't have one more combat stand, he's going to have one more part, like one more miniature story arc that takes place in this arc. But my chapter question for you all is, what were your thoughts about Nami deciding to stand up against Enel? And what were your initial thoughts when you saw Usopp show up to, I guess, buy time, okay? And not Sanji, the guy who grabs Usopp by the shoulders. It's like, look, man, if you got to give your life to save Nami, I'll forever be indebted to you. And just to see Sanji say some shit like that, it's just like, he's trolling. I love the dude. But as always, if you like anything I had to say, hit that like button, comment, rate, subscribe, share. As always, thank you for watching. Have an awesome day, guys.